My name is Manalisha, and today's conversation is going to be all about startups and skilling. Joining us today is somebody who's had an incredible journey since starting up at the age of 16. In 2018, he was listed by Forbes as one of Asia's top young social entrepreneurs. Today, Samyak Chakrabarty is the founder of Workverse, an 8-year-old company that trains learners in 21st century core skills that will help them in the future of work and enhance their employability. And in your opinion, what are some of the skills that the youth of today should look to pursue? And these are, I'm talking about core skills, as you said, not soft skills.
I build on what I just said a while ago, is whatever that makes you the unique personality as a thinker, as a communicator, as a solver, someone who feels and emotes. You need to work on building that. See, resilience is a big word. Critical thinking is a fancy word. Creative problem solving is essentially, jugaad that we have innate in us. So I would say that look innate and train your brain to apply your most innate tendencies, because that is what is going to get you ahead. For example, I'll give you a very, very abstract example. So it's one of it's a lesson that we teach in our Workverse training accelerator. So here's the story. Okay, so there's this event manager, and he's working for the IPL, and his job is essentially to coordinate transport for players arriving from different parts of the world. So according to the manual, car A is mapped to car player A, car B is mapped to player B, and so on. But what happens is, player B arrives before player A, but based on the time car A is waiting. So as per theory, car A is for player A, not for player B. Now this guy gets scared, saying, if I give player B car A, what if player A comes? So, natural tendencies, I call up the boss, and what do I do? But what we train is, hey, if you want to grow from beyond just a guy or person who's handling transport, to one day probably working in the management, here's how you'll have to think. What you'll have to do is, there's already a player and there's a car. Take that risk and ensure that at least what is there is taken care of. Yeah. And then you're at the airport, you work for the IPL. There has to be a 5-star hotel within 5 minutes of the airport, who obviously have fancy cars that are there waiting as cabs. You call the airport, you're on behalf of call the hotel, you're on behalf of the IPL, arrange a damn car. And you can't be afraid of what will my boss say, because your boss will be more angry at you if players are waiting because you did not go outside the book, than you just sanctioning a 5,000-10,000 rupee expense, which in any ways will be reimbursed to you. So I'm just giving a very abstract example of how you need to think in today's times. And most people are not trained to think like this, because car A, car B, player B. That's how we are programmed. So I would say that the ability to take risks, the ability to think like an entrepreneur, to create a solution where none is visible or none has been given in the manual. These are very important. But I'm deliberately not taking names of skills, because through the course of time of building Workverse, I have realized that all of these center down to just application of mind and being your real self and what makes you human.